Good afternoon students. I hope you all are well. Today we're going to discuss about our NCERT science class class 9 chapter number 13, why do we fall ill. This chapter is all about our health. What is the difference between being a healthy life and being a disease free life? Having a healthy life or having a disease free life, why we are getting some disease, what are the agents we are getting disease through. So these all things we gonna study about in this chapter. Okay, so let's start. So our chapter is why do we fall ill. Now please pay attention on the word ill. What is the difference between this ill? Whenever we are having some deformity in our body, or when our body is not responding good, that means we are ill. When we are not able to do any kind of work, so we say that we are ill. So why we get ill? Why do we fall ill? There are many reasons behind it. We can feel because we are having some disease, or we can have some non-healthy life. We are having some non-healthy life. So these all things depends on the illness. Okay, now why we got ill, let's see. Now first let's see the introduction. Health in general means free from illness, disease, injury or pain, lack of physical fitness. Health can be defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. Now according to WHO or World Health Organization, WHO says that whenever we are healthy, we are having healthy means that we have to be in a complete state of being physically, mentally and socially good. We have to be good in physical, mental and social well-being. This is the definition of health according to WHO or World Health Organization. Now what is the meaning of this? That health, whenever we are healthy, we should be in a good condition of physical, mental and social well-being. Now being healthy according to physically means that our body should be in a good condition. Physically our body should be in good condition. We are not having any sort of pain. That means that physically we are healthy. Mentally healthy means we are not having any kind of depression. Suppose a student is facing some exam and that exam is not going well, so what happens, he is facing some depression or anxiety is facing. That means he is not healthy mentally. Okay, right now he is not healthy mentally, so that time we can say that mental health is not good. Third, social well-being. Social well-being doesn't depend on ourselves. We could not be socially healthy. Socially healthy should depend on our community where we are living. Suppose you are living in a society, and that society, all the person in your neighborhood, they all start fighting with each other. They are not fighting with yourself, but they are fighting with each other. So that means that person is not living a healthy life. Socially he is not living a healthy life. Okay, so these differences makes us healthy. So whenever a person is suffering from any of these three conditions, then we say that a person is not healthy. Okay, now whenever you are in a class, your teacher, many times your teacher is called you and say that this is not a healthy environment. Now whenever she or he is saying that this is not a healthy environment, that means that he is talking about the environment socially, because socially environment means the whole community. Okay, so if she is saying that this is not a healthy environment of your class, she is referring to this social well-being health. Okay, so this is the all definition of health. So whenever I am saying that I am not healthy, I have to look at these three conditions: physical, mental and social well-being. Then I can say that I am not healthy. Okay, let's discuss more about health. Now how can we achieve good health? What are the reasons behind how I can achieve a good health? First, fruit, vegetables, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta and other starchy foods, meat, fish. By eating, by having a good diet, by having a good balanced diet, we can achieve a good health. Which good health we are achieving? We are achieving a physical good health and a mentally good health. Of course, if you are feeling depression, if you are feeling anxiety, if eating good food helps you out in coming out from your anxiety, so you can eat good food. Or if you are eating good food and your physical health is good, so of course good food helps in your physically and mental health. So by doing these factors you can achieve your good health. You can eat protein rich food, dairy food, starchy foods, you can eat these foods. Okay, now next is this, by maintaining proper hygiene condition. If you are maintaining proper hygiene condition, that means you cannot catch any sort of disease, and if you are not catching any sort of disease, that means you are physically good, and if you are physically good condition, that means you are in a good health. So by maintaining good health, by maintaining good hygiene condition around you, you can be in a physical good health. By exercise, of course, by exercising you can achieve good health. Okay, and most important thing, by doing some yoga. You all know that yoga is good for our mental health. If you are feeling any kind of mentally disturbed, you can go and do yoga every day. Every morning you should do yoga. You must do yoga every day to achieve a good health. So these all are the factors by achieving a good health. So I think you all have understood what is the basic meaning of health. Right now we are not talking about diseases. Right now we are only talking about healthy life or health. Okay, we have not discussed any disease yet. Right now we are just discussing about the health. Okay, now health depend on these things: food and diet, exercise, family and friends, sleep, stress management. Now this stress management and sleep comes under the mental health. This stress management and sleep, these all comes under the mental health. If you are taking care of these two, that is stress management and sleep, that means you are taking care of your mental health. By taking good enough sleep, according to World Health Organization, a person should take at least 7 hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. A healthy person should take 7 to 8 hours of sleep to achieve a mental good health. Stress management, if you are feeling any stress, and if you are talking to another person about your stress, and if you are good in your stress management, that means you are having a good health. Okay, food and diet is also necessary for having a good health. Exercise and family and friends comes under the social well-being health. Okay, I hope this diagram understood. Now important characteristics of a person having a good health. What are the characteristics of a person if he is suffering from a good health? If he is all having mentally, physically and socially, if he is well-being, if he is good, what characteristics he will show? First, he is free from any sickness or disease. Of course, if you are healthy, you should be free from any sickness or disease. Second thing, you are free from any unnecessary anxiety. Unnecessary anxiety means you are not thinking too much, you are not overthinking. You are not overthinking means you are free from any anxiety. Okay, so yes, if you are in a good state of health, you are free from any unnecessary anxiety. Free from social and psychological tension. Of course, if you are free from any psychological tension, if some person is if he is torturing you and you are facing some psychological tension, that means you are not in a good health. So if a person being in a good health, that means he is free from any social and psychological tension. Self-confidence, if you are having self-confidence, these characteristics shows that you are having a good health. This is not that a person is having these factors. If you are having these factors, that means you are having a good health. Okay, if you are having self-confidence in you, that yes, I can achieve this thing, I can achieve those things, that means you are having a good mental health. Okay, this self-confidence comes under a good mental health. Feeling joy in living, that means you are feeling very happy in your life. You don't have any bad experience from your life, you don't have any kind of problem with your life. So that means you are free from any kind of tension, you are feeling joy in your living conditions. Ability to work efficiently and at its best. Whatever work you are doing that work in your best way. Okay, so these all characteristics shows you that you are having a very good health. Now health and its failure. Health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being. This we have understood. Importance of good health are good physical and social environment, good economic conditions, social equality and harmony. Good physical and social environment, you all know that if you are good physically, if you are good, and if you are having a good social environment, that means you are having a good friends. If you are having good colleague with you all, that means you are having a good social environment. If your neighborhood is very good, that means your social environment is very good. Next is good economic condition. Good economic condition means means that your family is not having any kind of debt with them. If they are having any debt with them and they are not able to pay that debt, that means they are having some bad economic condition. And if they are having some bad economic condition, of course it will affect your mental health. And if it is affecting your mental health, then your health could not be in a good condition. Social equality and harmony. If there is social equality in all the cases, if we are socially being equally with each other, that means we are having a good communication with each other. If we are having socially equal with each other, so these all show the importance factor of a good health. Now till now we are discussing about health, we have not discussed about any disease. If I ask you any question that if a person is having any sort of disease, okay, if a person is having healthy, is totally healthy from mentally, physically and socially, he is healthy. If he is suffering from any disease or not, suppose a person is very healthy, okay, physically he is also very healthy, mentally and socially he is very healthy, so it is necessary that he cannot catch any disease? No. If a person is healthy doesn't mean that he is not suffering from any disease. Suppose I give you an example. There is a person, he is physically very fit, okay, mentally he is very good, he is enjoying his life, and social environment is very good, but he is suffering from diabetes, okay. Now diabetes being a disease, he is not disease free. Healthy, he is very good, he is in a very healthy condition, but he is not disease free, okay. There is a difference between disease and there is a difference between a healthy person. We cannot say that a healthy person cannot have a disease, or we cannot say that a person is not having any disease, he is healthy. Suppose there is another person sorry, there is another person, he don't have any disease, he don't have any diabetes, sugar, he don't have any kind of disease, but he is suffering from mental depression. He has given an exam and that exam has not gone well, and he is suffering from mental depression. So right now he is disease free, but he is not healthy. So these two words, healthy and disease free, both are different. Now what are the differences between them? First is, it is a state of physical, mental and social well-being. Healthy life is always a state of social, mental and physical well-being. If all these three conditions satisfy, that means he is a healthy person. Second, in a disease, it is a state of absence from any disease. If he is not having any sort of disease, then only we can say that he is disease free, okay. In healthy, we have to see these three factors: physical, mental and social well-being. But in disease free, we have to see that if a person is suffering from any sort of disease. Second point, it refers to the individual physical and social environment. Whenever we are whenever we say that a person is healthy, we know the social environment of that person. We should know the individual physical and social environment, then only we can say that he is healthy or not. So person health depend on its surroundings also, but a person disease doesn't depend on its surrounding, okay. It refers only to the individual. If a particular individual having any kind of disease, then only we can say that he is a disease free person. So disease does not depend on the community, disease only depend on the particular individual. If we are talking about an individual, then we can say that he is a disease free person. But when we are talking about the health means that his social environment should be good, okay. The individual has good health. The individual may have good health or poor health. Of course, whenever he is healthy, of course his health should be in good condition, but when he is disease free, doesn't mean that he is in a good health. He may be in a poor health or he may have a good health. It depends on the person. Next, they are spread through some agencies such as air, food, contact, insect, etc. They do not spread through any agency. So if you are not having I think it is interchanged, this point should be here and this point should be here. in a health, it doesn't spread through any agency. If you are mentally disturbed, you could it doesn't mean that if you are sitting with a person you also make him mentally disturbed. It is not necessary. If your social environment is not good, it doesn't necessary that if you are going somewhere, if you are meeting with any friend, it don't make them don't make their social environment good. So being healthy, it doesn't spread through any agency. But if we are having any disease, a disease can be spread through some agencies such as air, food contact, insect, etc. A disease can be spread through all these agents. So basically, whenever we are talking about any disease can be spread through any agents. But being healthy, health cannot spread from agents. Okay. About the disease, we have understood disease and its causes, how disease occur in our body and what are the causes of that disease. When a person is affected by a disease, either the normal functioning or the appearance of one or more systems of the body changes for the worse. These changes give rise to signs of the disease called symptoms. Now you all know that our body is made up of different type of organs, and these organs are doing different functions in our body, and these functions are known as systems. For example, if I talk about respiratory system include our esophagus, it includes our lungs. Okay, respiratory system include these things. If I talk about circulatory system includes our circulatory system includes our heart. And if I talk about excretory system, digestive system, excretory system include our pair of kidneys, and digestive system include small intestine, large intestine. So for every system we have a different type of organ. So if you are facing any disease, these system, one or more system may not work completely. Suppose if you are suffering from high blood pressure, okay, now in that case your heart, you are having any circulatory disease, because your heart is because the blood from the heart is going with a very high pressure. Okay, your arteries suffering from they are exerting very high pressure on their wall. Okay, so high blood pressure means that one or more system of your body it disturbed. So whenever you are facing any disease, that means a system is not functioning well in your body. Okay, now whenever a system is not functioning well in your body, it started giving you some symptoms. For example, if you are having high blood pressure, one system is not working in your body, now it will send you some symptoms. What are the symptoms? You may face some headache, you may have some pain in your eyes, okay, because of the high pressure in your nerves. Okay, so these are some symptoms which our body starts sending us whenever we are having any disease. Okay, so disease depends on the signs and symptoms. What is the difference between a sign and what is the difference between a symptom? Let's see. On the basis of the symptom, the physicians look for the signs of a particular disease and conduct tests to confirm the disease. So whenever you are visiting any physician, you describe the symptoms to them, and according to the symptom he identify any particular disease. Now what is the difference between a sign and a symptom? Sign is basically that thing which can be observed by other person also, but a symptom can be observed by you only. Suppose you are having a headache. Having a headache is a symptom, because this headache is only observed by you. It cannot be observed by another person. So having headache is a symptom. But suppose there is a bleeding in your nose and you are not noticing that there is a bleeding in your nose because it is not paining. So whenever it is bleeding from your nose, it is a sign, because now another person can see it and he can tell you that you are bleeding. So it is a sign. So a sign is observed by another person and symptom is only observed by ourselves. That this is the basic difference between a sign and a symptom. So whenever you are visiting any doctor or physician, you only tell the symptoms, what symptoms occurring in your body. You never tell the sign, because sign he can observe, because sign can be observed by another person, but symptoms can be observed by you only. If you are having headache, how can a doctor know that you are having a headache? So whenever you are visiting any physician or a doctor, you should tell the symptoms to the doctor. Okay. Now some types of diseases. Number one is acute disease, second is chronic disease, third is infectious non-communicable non-infectious, and the fourth is infectious communicable disease. First we'll talk about acute diseases. Acute diseases are those diseases which occur for a very short period of time in your body. Suppose you are having a cold and cough. Having cold and cough means that after one or 2 weeks you could be disease free. That disease should last for a very short period of time. So whenever a particular disease in your body lasts for a very short period of time, we say that it is an acute disease, and the example of acute disease is cough and cold. Okay, next, chronic disease. In acute disease, you never face any kind of distress, any kind of disadvantage in your body, okay, because it lasts for a very few weeks. It will last for 1 or 2 days also. But having a chronic disease is very bad for your health. Chronic disease means it can last for your lifetime also. It can lead to your death also in a chronic disease. Example of chronic disease is AIDS, cancer. These are some example of chronic disease, because these chronic diseases last for very long period of time, and when they last for very long period of time, they'll damage the systems in your body, they'll damage the organs in your body. But an acute disease never damages any kind of system and organ in your body, because it lasts for a very few weeks, very short period of time. But chronic disease lasts for a very long period of time. Next is non-infectious and non-communicable disease. Non-infectious and non-communicable disease means that they cannot spread from one person to another. Okay, that means whenever a person is sitting and another person come near to that person, that disease could not be spread from one person to another. These diseases are known as non-infectious diseases. Example are high blood pressure, diabetes. These are some example of non-infectious or non-communicable disease. Basically, they cannot communicate from one person to another. Last is infectious or communicable disease. You can read from the name. Infectious and communicable disease means that they can spread from one person to another easily. If we are sitting near them, we can catch the disease. You have seen, whenever you are sitting near your friend, if he is suffering from cold and cough and you are sitting near him, you also catch, after few days you also catch that cold and cough. Okay, so it's an infectious disease. Because so infectious disease example, we can take an example. Recent COVID is an example of infectious disease. COVID-19 is an example, because it can spread from one person to another easily. So these are the 4 type of diseases. Acute disease which lasts only for a short period of time and does not have long-term effect on health, cough, cold or common cold. Right now we have discussed that acute disease are those diseases which don't have a very long period, which don't last for a very long period of time, they last for a very short period of time. Okay, common cold and can live for hours outside the body. Sudden symptoms, severe, come on without warning. Fever, chills, tiredness. These all are some symptoms of having fever. Okay, typhoid is also an example of acute disease. Okay, this is the bacteria S. typhi which is responsible for typhoid. Common symptoms are diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, fever, loss of appetite. Okay, it can spread from water, it can spread from food. Okay, this is bacteria. Now chronic diseases. Diseases will last for a long period of time and has a long drastic effect on health. Long drastic effect means they can damage your whole system of your body, they can damage your organs of your body. So these are the chronic diseases. Example is elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is a disease in which your leg swollen. You can see here this part of the leg, it swells up and it becomes very large. So this disease is called elephantiasis disease. It's a chronic disease. It's not that it lasts for only 5 or 10 days. It lasts forever. It lasts for a very long period of time and it damages the whole leg. It damages the whole leg, so that's why it's a chronic disease. So chronic disease definition is that disease which lasts for a very long period of time and it have a very drastic change on your body is called chronic disease. Tuberculosis is an example of chronic disease, droplet from cough or sneeze by an infected person. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is responsible for tuberculosis. So whenever this Mycobacterium tuberculosis, this spread in the air, the small droplets of water in the air, and it can goes from one person to another easily. So it's an example of infectious disease also. Tuberculosis is an example of infectious disease also, because it can spread from one person to another. So basic symptom of TB is the sudden increase in the cough, okay, cough or sneeze. Skin cancer on face is also an example of chronic disease. Okay, you can see here the person face damages completely. Okay, now it doesn't mean that it lasts for a very short period of time, it lasts for a very long period of time. It can lead to your lifetime also. So skin cancer is a chronic disease. Infectious or communicable disease which spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, vector, physical contact or sexual contact. So it can be anything. It can be the agents could be air, water, food, physical contact, sexual contact. Through any contact, these agents can go from an infected person to a healthy person and make that healthy person diseased. Okay, so that means the disease is infectious disease, and the examples of infectious disease are common cold, chicken pox, measles, typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis, malaria, AIDS. These all are some example of infectious disease. Last is non-infectious or non-communicable disease which are not spread from an infected person to a healthy person. These disease could not spread from one person to another person, so these diseases are called non-infectious diseases. Examples are beriberi, rickets, scurvy, night blindness, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure. These all are some examples of non-infectious diseases. So basically today we have discussed about health, how a person should be healthy, what is the difference between a healthy life or a disease free life. It is not necessary that if a person is healthy he is not suffering from any disease, and also it is not necessary that if a person is disease free he is in a good health condition. So these all condition depends on the factor. Then we have studied about the disease, how many there are different type of diseases, that is infectious, non-infectious, and communicable, non-communicable, okay, acute disease, chronic disease. These all are some example. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Okay, please be in the next class when we discuss about the some bacteria, viruses, antibodies, immunization, how these affect on your body. So we'll discuss these things in the later class. Thank you everyone, have a nice day.